Esta gente habla, pero ahora lo van a pagar.
A big morning for the multilingual musical crime drama Amelia Perez, which scored 13 Oscar nominations, one shy of the all-time record.
The Netflix film led the pack at the 97th Academy Awards, followed close behind by The Brutalist and Wicked with 10 noms apiece, and A Complete Unknown and Conclave with 8 each.
Dan Murrell is a film critic and host of the weekly box office show Charts with Dan. He joins us live on Zoom. Welcome back. Fairly expected lineup of nominees, but there were some surprises. Talk us through what your big 3 surprises were this morning.
Well, we knew that Amelia Perez was going to come in with a lot of Oscar nominations, but I think I was surprised and a lot of others were surprised at just how many it got. I mean, as you mentioned, 13, one shy of the all-time record, more than any international film has ever gotten at the Academy Awards. And it showed up in categories where I think a lot of people were thinking that it was maybe on the bubble or wasn't going to show up at all. So that was surprising to me. Not that Amelia Perez did so well, but just how well it did, especially given that there has been a lot of criticism of the movie, didn't seem to faze any of the Academy Award voters whatsoever in the different branches. Also, Fernanda Torres showing up in the Best Actress race for a movie called I'm Still Here. This is a movie from Brazil, and she was always in the running, but it seems like she really came on strong at the tail end of the race. I think because of the delay of the voting and that window being open a little bit longer after she won the Golden Globe for Best Actress, I think that may have put that movie on more people's radar. That 5th slot for Best Actress was thought to be up for grabs, but there was a thought that maybe Nicole Kidman, perhaps Marianne Jean-Baptiste, or Angelina Jolie would get that slot. But Fernanda Torres is in the Academy Award race, and I know that a lot of people I hear on my channel from Brazil are very happy to see her there. And then also Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, getting that Best Actor Academy Award nomination. Many people had projected that Daniel Craig would be in that 5th spot. And it's surprising, especially because The Apprentice was a movie that a lot of people wanted to distance themselves from when it was released because of the threat of legal action. And yet that was another film later in the race where it seems like a lot of awards voters warmed up to it. And I'm happy because I think Sebastian Stan put in 2 great performances last year. I'm glad that one of them made the cut.
Dan, they say it's an honor just to be nominated, but some folks don't even get nominated. What were your biggest snubs of the year?
Well, the one that I was most upset by was Denis Villeneuve, who was not nominated for Best Director for Dune Part 2. He was also not nominated for Best Director for the first Dune film, even though both movies got Best Picture nominations. And I love both of those films. And when you look at the scope of them, the fact that they have massive budgets, they're ambitious, there were performances in the films that were all well received. It's adapting something that many people thought would be unadaptable. The fact that he wasn't recognized for either one of those movies was very, very disappointing to me. Also, the film Challengers. This is not a movie that a lot of people necessarily thought would be in the Best Picture race or in the Best Actress race or any of the other categories. But I thought, and many other people did, that it would be at least in the running for Best Original Score, for Best Original Song, for Best Editing, a lot of the technical categories. And yet it was shut out completely, largely because we did see so many repeat nominations, particularly from Amelia Perez and from other movies. So I was surprised that that movie walked away completely empty-handed. And then Sing Sing, which was able to get nominations for Coleman Domingo for Best Actor. It was able to score an adapted screenplay nomination, but it missed out on Best Picture. It missed out on Best Supporting Actor for Clarence Macklin. And this was, to me, from the outside looking in, a case of A24 just not positioning that movie properly. I don't think that it had as much of a shot as it should have, and was overlooked in Best Picture and some of the other categories. It's surprising to me they got left out of as many major categories as it did.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that award season, it really is a campaign. So there's a few weeks left in the season. We're going to be seeing all the stars out, I'm sure. And I love that Demi Moore got nominated for The Substance. Where do you think things stand?
Well, I mean, we're looking at a movie in Amelia Perez that got 13 nominations. Many people would say that makes it the odds-on favorite. to win Best Picture. But as I alluded to a little bit earlier, it's also a film that has received some criticism from Spanish speakers, from people that live in Mexico that feel like it maybe wasn't the best depiction of that country, even from some people in the trans community, even though it has a trans lead character, the first out trans actress now nominated for an Academy Award. So if that criticism should be continue and to build, it doesn't really have a champion, even on the critical side. It really has been most popular with awards voters. Should there be any kind of impact on that, there's really no clear, I don't think, number two for Best Picture. So if the criticism around Emilia Perez continues, I think that we have a wide open race for Best Picture. And in the lead acting categories as well, I think it's anybody's game, and let the games begin.
Which is really exciting. Dan, we have about 30 seconds left. As the host of Charts with Dan, we have to talk box office. Aside from Wicked and Dune Part 2, we don't have a lot of huge hits in this year's batch of nominees. Do you think this is an opportunity to sort of bridge that gap and get some more visibility for some of these films?
Well, I hope so. A lot of people, some of these movies weren't playing near them. They're just now starting to expand. So I'm glad that a lot of them are on the radar now for people to go out and see. And I would like to see that bridging of the gap between box office and the Best Picture race, because I think that these are good movies. And Emilia Perez, I think, is the only one that is a streaming film this year. So let's get people out to see the rest of them, because I think that there were some really strong films in contention.
Dan Murrell, thank you so much for joining us. And for more of his insights, reviews, and analysis, you can subscribe to Dan Murrell Movies on YouTube. I have so many movies to watch.
You got it. All right, Dan, thanks again.